A few of you said you're interested in doing wood cutting boards and things like that. The process is the same, but I've decided to do a bit of wood and to show you the process on how you end up with this product. It's pretty simple to do. It works for all different products. In this video, we're just going to show how simple and easy it is to actually make a file. A few of you mentioned that you're doing with wood, and the cutting boards and things like that are what you do. So I will do this on a bit of wood. The same rules apply for anything really. Doesn't make really any difference. So what we're going to do is we'll import a picture, which is simply, this program is called Lightburn. If any of you have used any type of program, they're all pretty similar with the icons. We're going to import a picture. We'll make it one of my customers' rodeos. So that's the picture there. And that's what we're going to engrave on wood. Now at the moment, that's the size of it. If we click on it, up here you'll see the size. If that was closed and I changed that setting to say 80, the whole thing moves in proportion. If that was open, let me just select it. If that was open, it would only change one or the other. So that's pretty straightforward in most programs. So that's the logo, whatever it is you wanted to do on the cutting board. So what we need to do next is draw the actual cutting board. Now this would be the size of your cutting board. For the purpose of this, it's not going to make much difference what size it is. But you notice how that's blue. Down here we have colors to identify different parts of your file. So we'll leave that at blue. Now to actually line this up, it's as simple as, make sure you go back to that arrow. In here, that will get you straight back to that, will be in the middle of everything. That would give it to be vertical, and that would make it horizontal. So we'll just go in the middle. You can see that it moved a little bit. So now that's in the middle of the actual the file. Now when we go to engrave it, we don't need this outside line. Really, it's just identification for you so that you know where to start the laser. So if you notice there's a green square. And if we come over here, you'll notice that I've chosen middle center. This was an example of what you would do if you wanted to, say you wanted to do it on a schooner glass, like a beer glass or something like that. Well, I'll just make this the right size. If this was a schooner glass, for example, when we engrave, if that was where the laser head was going to start, it would go left and right, left and right. So all you need to do is place the laser head in the center of the glass and you would be symmetrical. But for this purpose, where I start it for doing something like this is I will choose down here the bottom left, and you see the green square moves. So when we place the laser head later, you'll see that that's where it's going to start from. Just skipping ahead a bit, this is where I've placed the laser in that corner where the green square is, and you can see that I've lined up the wood by moving that laser head from left to right and seeing where the light is. You can actually make sure that it's nice and straight. See that that's where it's going to start from. But when we do it, we don't want this to actually be in the engraving. So up here you can just say output on the blue, nothing. So it still stays there, it still shows, but it's only there for reference. So once you've done that, you'll click on the colors up here and you can set the settings. Now I've set mine already. That's going to be 200 mils a second, 32% power, and the line interval. The line interval at 0.08, it means every time the laser goes backwards and forwards, it's going to move up 0.08 of a mil. The closer that line interval is together, the deeper the engraving, because you get more engravings per mil. But 0.8 is quite a fine engraving. It'll work fine. So we don't have to worry about the line because we're not using it. It's only there for identification. So I'll just pause it there and I'll turn my laser on. So once you've sent it to the laser, you come over to the controller and we'll just click File, and up comes a list. And the last one that you've chosen will be the one, or the last one you sent over. So if you scroll through, you can see different ones come up. So once you've got the one you want, you click Enter again. It'll go to the left-hand side and the settings will be there. Quite handy once you know what you're doing, because it gives you a bit of a checklist to make sure you got it right. Now I've already set my position of the laser in the right spot because the green square was the bottom left-hand corner. So to just check that you've got your material square, you can actually just move the laser head across and that red light, it looks a lot bigger in the video, it's not quite that big. As long as it's, you know, parallel to the bottom line, it's definitely square. And then once you get it to the position, you know, the far right there where you want to start it, on the controller, you just hit origin, or click origin, if it comes in focus, which is that one. And now if I hit the one beside it, which is frame, you'll notice that it will actually, now it's going to frame the area that we're about to engrave. It's excluding that big square because that's not part of the actual engraving, and you can see that that's where we want it to be. So you can speed this process up, the actual speed of the machine. I've got mine set slow, it's easier when I use that rotary that does the bottles. So from there, you'll just come over and press start. And away it goes. So I'll go over and I'll show you how I sent the file across, and we'll come back and see how it's going on. So you can see in here now, might be hard to pick up, you see that little red square going across? That will obviously tell you where you're up to. You've got a little timer, so we can see how long this one takes. And that's all there is to it. When it's finished, it'll make a little ding dong sound, and that'll be it. If we go over to it now, you can see that it's doing its job. That soot obviously just wipes off with a wet rag. Just come back, you can see how long we've been going for, only 1:30, and that's quite deep, which I can probably show you when it's finished. So we're getting closer to the finish. We've just got the little horse to go, and you'll see that little red square is identifying where we're up to, and we've been going for 4 minutes on that engraving. Now the interesting about this laser is the production date was the March 2024. So it's getting close to 2-year-old, and it hasn't lost any power at all. So the tube's nearly 2-year-old. The tube's replacement on these are only 170. So even though they're only a 50-watt tube, they actually do a very good job. That pine is 18 mil. I haven't attempted to cut it with this one. I might do it after the video. But on the next model up, it can cut that 18 mil pine. Cut it straight. I can show you a black edge there. It must be on this side. A bit hard to see. I'll show you when it's finished. Yeah, this is a 50 watt. The 80 watts can actually cut the 18 mil pine at around 4 mils a second, but it does a really nice edge on it as well. So I'll come back again when it's near finished. We're getting close to the finish now. You've got a little fan at the back of this that sucks the smoke out. Obviously you've got to duct it outside, out a window, out a door. But this little fan is quite powerful enough, and it's very quiet. The bigger ones do have a more suction on the fan, so it can be a bit noisy. And I've got the lid open as well, so with the lid shut, obviously it'll suck even more. So that's it. We're getting very close to the finish, and then it will return back to its original spot. That took 7 minutes. So now I'll just go clean it up and I'll show you what it looks like. And that's how it's cleaned up, with just me wiping it with a bit of a rag and a bit of citrus cleaner. But you can see it has got a little bit of residue left there. A light sand would fix that up. We'll just give it a light sand. So that's it, finished with the after a sand. I'll just pick it up, give you on a bit of an angle so you can see how deep it is. Obviously that's the grain of the wood, the different colours there. But that's how it's done, guys, nice and easy.